despite the loss tonight, things are and have been swinging in the right direction. We did get to see a little taste of what we've been calling for quite a bit this season, and that's more opportunities for Zach in the fourth. Obviously came due to unfortunate events, and Zach had struggled the beginning of the first three quarters there, but in that fourth, came to life with Jason Tatum on the bench and put the Bulls in a position to steal this game. Unfortunately, Tatum came back in and Zach LaVine cooled off. But valiant effort. Does that give you any confidence in Zach returning to form? Does that build on the momentum that he had, or do the struggles early in the game kind of throw that all off for you?
I feel like the struggles earlier in the game are paramount, and I'm going to tell you why I think they're paramount is because, yes, they played a very good game against the Jazz on Saturday night. DeMar and Zach balled out, looked very good, almost reminiscent of Lonzo days, right? With DeMar and Zach. We'd get that too far and in between. For any sort of consistency for this to matter for me to turn around my stance on what it is now, Zach brought us back in the fourth quarter, and I'm going to give him all the credit in the world for that. He was aggressive. He was looking for his shot. He did take some questionable ones, but the people that are cheering for him when he hits these shots, these tough shots, have to accept that that's how he lives and he dies. That's the kind of player Zach LaVine is, and you have to be okay with that. If you like him on your team. If you don't like him on your team, then hey, then you can hate it all you want. You can hate the player that he is, but that's what he does. He takes very difficult shots, and look, he converted on some, he missed some, but the point is, he brought us back into the game. He got us back there within 2 at one point. I liked what I saw from Zach overall. He took care of the ball tonight, but again, there's one thing about Zach that pisses me off. He starts getting a little bit of that confidence back, and then he starts looking for calls and not getting back on the other end. It happened 3 separate occasions tonight. Once in the first, once in the third, once in the fourth.
Well, and when you lay it out to the point to that this game got down to a single possession game, a 2-point game, getting back on one of those possessions is ultimately the difference, or the potential difference.
It absolutely could be. It absolutely could be. And I mean, and here's the thing. One of those turned into a Jaylen Brown fucking uncontested layup at the rim. Because you had to collapse. What are you going to do? You want to live with the 2 or you want to die by the 3? Which one? You have to choose at this point. So, I mean, it's just one circumstance out of 3 that he did where it actually cost points, like it cost like a quick transition bucket, but it still happened. So that's the only thing that I'm like, I could bitch at him for, but he went 10 for 24, 4 for 13 from downtown. He cooled off a little bit from down there. 27.7 boards, 6 assists, 1 steal, like I told you, 1 turnover. Zach played a good game. I will say one thing in his defense, though, and I don't typically like to do this. That guy got fouled 50 fucking times tonight.
Zach LaVine had a reason to complain.
I think so.
He just didn't have a good enough reason to not get back on defense.
Right. I don't think any of them were egregious where it was just like, oh my God, you need to fucking call this. But I do feel like he ping-ponged a couple times, and it was just kind of like, if that's Tatum on the other end or if it's Brown on the other end, you're getting a call. And I see how it's frustrating.
There was a couple of those moments tonight, but overall, I feel like this game was let them play kind of mentality. They almost refed it more like a playoff game. There wasn't too many whistles. There wasn't that much stoppage in play. So to put this one on the referees is not going to happen for me. I'd love to see Zach start getting these calls. He is supposed to be the star player and our franchise player going forward. Hopefully that transition passing of the torch doesn't happen sooner than expected with DeMar going down here. But I do think that you have to build some confidence as a fan in the contract that was given with the play that you're getting from him as of late. I'm not going to say for me that it makes me more confident in the Bulls throwing more assets at this current version of the roster, but I do think that maybe, even though the reports currently are saying the Bulls are going to be quiet at the deadline.
That came out from Darnell Mayberry from The Athletic. I wrote a little bit of an article over at On Tap about it, just with my thoughts and whatnot. Goose, you got to pick a lane, man.
You do have to pick a lane, and I don't think the lane they pick is going to be going, aggressively further into this iteration of the roster. But does Zach's play currently give you more confidence in moving away from DeMar? If he obviously remains healthy, obviously kind of feel a little shitty here bringing this up with his injury kind of looming. But assuming he's healthy and the Bulls stay in this play-in scenario, are you more confident, potentially trading DeMar and retooling this roster around Zach with the way that he's returning to form? Or are you still so questionable on this guy as your franchise player that you'd rather blow it up entirely?
I'm questionable on him because I feel like he's got an on and off switch that he chooses to turn on and he chooses to turn off. It's not something that's always on when you go out there. That's my problem with Zach LaVine. That's been my problem with Zach LaVine. With the way that he's played, if trading DeMar makes the on switch go on and he can come out and get you 25, 5, and 5 and be that number 2 guy, I'm cool with it.
Giving Zach the full entire keys to this car with Vooch,
he shouldn't have that.
I mean, does he deserve that over DeMar? No, but at this point in time, I about pooped myself when DeMar went down.
Yeah, I did too.
We're done. We're done for 2 years. We owe this guy. We owe this guy $60 million. This is it. We're done. DeMar, non-contact injury. How many more hesitation moves does he have in his knees at this point? It scared the living hell out of me.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
And obviously, I'm coming from the selfish standpoint right now as the fan. Like, oh shit! What do we do if DeMar is done?
Shit! I don't know. We
are royally screwed. You have no way to trade out of this. You have no way to really rebuild around Zach if you want. At that point, you're left with you have to trade Zach. Zoe hasn't even played basketball yet, so although this isn't 2K and you can include his salary in there if a team is willing to take him at the current status, you're not getting any positive value for him. Vooch is an expiring contract, so now you've got to rebuild around Patrick Williams and whatever you can get for Zach LaVine in this horrible, oh my God, they have nothing and nothing else to do situation.
Maybe that's a big wake-up call to Acme. Who knows?
It woke me the hell up.